Welcome to the Unstoppable Profit Podcast. This podcast will give independent insurance agents all of the tools to grow your business and live life on your terms. Wherever you are today, if you're starting with nothing or well on your way to the success you desire, with the right people, processes, and promotions in place, you will be unstoppable. And now I'd like to introduce your host, Mike Stromsoe.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of the Unstoppable Profit Podcast. I am pumped and I am excited because I recently was out there in the world helping agents, and I ran into my friend Thomas Mann. Thomas, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And he was sharing with me the latest that's been going on with Aureus, with DONNA, and everything that they do. And I was OMG. And I said, we need to get you on the podcast and bring everybody up to date on the latest and greatest. So thank you for spending some time with us today.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, Mike. I'm happy to catch you and the audience up on everything that's been going on at Aureus, because 23's been a banner year. We've rolled out a lot.
And it's been fast and furious. And I know, and I'm going to suggest that 2024 is going to be even faster and, shall we say, more furious in a fun way, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're looking to crank it up another notch.
Yeah, ditto. So anyway, that's why I think you and I aligned so well, and we got to enjoy a meal together, and we're breaking bread about some of the things going on. So let's just cut the chase and get right to it. But before we do that, in case somebody doesn't know who Thomas Mann is, or maybe hasn't really heard of Aureus, give us a little background on yourself and the company.
Yeah, absolutely. So just a quick note on my background personally, Mike, and then I'll get into Aureus. So I North Carolina native. I'm the twangiest member you will hear of the Aureus team for sure. With that, I'm a proud Tar Heel, UNC Chapel Hill alum. So there's only one correct color of blue in my household, right? And with that, I enjoy talking to agents because the family aspect comes up so much, right? There are so many children in legacy agencies that I never wanted anything to do with insurance. Well, my dad was an agent. That's how I got into the business myself. I was a captive myself. Saw that was not the way to go. Made the switch as a producer into a independent agency and opened my eyes to a whole new world. Got involved with the tech side, and that led me to Agency Zoom, where I spent several years running customer success there. And that is what bled over into getting really in the weeds on the tech side. And I joined the Aureus team in March of 22 as their director of customer success. So implementation, how to get value from the platform, and how to, most importantly, streamline workflows so that your team loves the product and it actually helps you do more of what you want to do, whether that's retain, sell more. Ultimately, you could say become a unlimited profit producer.
Unstoppable profit producer.
Oh, but they're unstoppable, but there's no limit on it.
100% agree with you. That means I second or I agree for those who don't know and might be watching this version of the podcast. So fantastic. So I replied to you the other day when you sent me your photo. I asked you for your photo so we can produce the podcast. And I replied to you, I don't know if you saw it or not. You're not only good looking, but you're smart. And so you just proved the fact with your intro that you are smart. You were captive and you came over to the independent side and you moved on through your technology background. And now you're at Aureus. So double smart win. Well,
flattery will get you everywhere, my friend.
So anyway, so speaking of Aureus, thank you. And is this blue in my office blue enough, or I need to shade it up a tint?
Honestly, you're closer, Mike, with that one to Tar Heel blue, Carolina blue, than you are that other blue we don't talk about. So we're good to go, man.
All right, fantastic. Yeah. Well, I feel better now. We can continue. So let's continue, because our goal here is to help agencies grow their business, create wealth, and have more freedom to live life on their own terms. And I know from multiple agencies, including our own, because we had interactions with DONNA as well at that point, they have had growth, and they're growing the wealth of their book through using DONNA and partnering with Aureus. So give everybody a base description in case somebody doesn't know about DONNA. What is the goal when somebody partners with DONNA and installs it within their agency tech stack, if you will, to help their agency?
Yeah, so just a very quick blip, Mike, on Aureus, the company, which did predate DONNA, right? Data analytics, focused in the insurance vertical, really with the mission of kind of bringing these enterprise-esque solutions of predictions and where to look within your own backyard, right? So that was kind of where this came from, and DONNA was the culmination of that. So DONNA actually launched April 2020, I believe, was when it first went live. And so, it's just had its 3-year anniversary. As such, Mike, that is, I mentioned 23 has been a big year, but in terms of the mission, it's definitely helped agents realize the opportunity they have and the potential they have within their own book. But DONNA itself is a platform that connects to their AMS, right? We mine all of their data to run it through our proprietary algorithm to give you what I believe, Mike, and our good friend Chris Paradiso believes, is a transformational metric. That is the centimeter. Now, the centimeter is a 0 to 100 score. Mike Stromsoe is my client at Mann Insurance Agency. How happy is Mike with his experience with the agency? We're factoring carrier experience there. We want a real-time measure of what Mike's customer experience has been. So that, to me, Mike, is where it differs greatly from, say, a Net Promoter Score or a CSAT survey. Those are both useful data points, right? But the centimeter is, in my opinion, version 2.0 of that, because it is not dependent on Mike, the client, responding to a survey. It is built all from the trends in the data. And we'll certainly get into the weeds, Mike, what I mean by the data, right? Which is very broad, but starting with their holistic customer record within your AMS, supplementing that with outside data providers that we work with, and then running that through our algorithm and using the machine learning, because DONNA has actually processed, here's a fun soundbite, Mike, DONNA has processed almost $5 billion in premium at this point. So as you might imagine, when you've crunched that many numbers through a system, we've associated some pretty strong trends and personas therein.
And I will suggest, if I'm anticipating this correctly, you generally deal with agencies that have gained some success out there in the world.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Who understand the value of the technology and what it can accomplish. And so that $5 billion in historical data, for lack of a better term, is quality.
Generally speaking, Mike, I'd say you hit that nail on the head. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Fantastic. So centimeter score, let's go back to that. And let's go back to centimeter score and client experience. I mean, I think we all know why the client experience is important, right?
I hope so.
Exactly. So we're going to give them, the listeners or the people viewing this podcast, the heads up that they understand how valuable the client experience is. I personally believe that the client experience is everything. We have to, as agency leaders and entrepreneurs, make sure that that client experience is second to none. Because if the client experience is not second to none, they will not stay. They may not stay. Okay. So we'll make that a given. The client experience is important. So the centimeter score measures the client's opinion on where the client experience is, right?
Yes, sir. And that was kind of, Mike, the sort of North Star, right, in Aureus and DONNA's development is the algorithm development to produce the centimeter score, and then how that can be a true north metric, right, in your agency. It's built very much, Mike, on a principle that I know you subscribe to, which is what is measured gets improved. So as long as we need that benchmark, right? So it's very valuable when an agency first onboards to the platform. Hey, here's the average centimeter score of all of my customers, so that in subsequent quarters, months, years, right, you can then analyze where have we improved, where have maybe we've fallen short, maybe there needs to be some retraining on certain carriers, coverages, commercial, personal. We get pretty deep in the weeds on that, Mike, and that to me is where, when you measure the customer experience, that's step one, right? And then how can we improve that, and how can we base workflows on that, is where it really gets to get fun as we roll up our sleeves there, right?
So that number, the centimeter score, does it get measured on what, 0 to 100?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is a good centimeter score in an agency? 70, 80?
So it's a little bit of a loaded question, Mike, but I would say what we consider, I'll tell you, there are three kind of buckets we coach agencies around. So it's like bands in your centimeter, right? So your 81 to 100, those are your Mike Stromsoes. Those are your happy campers. They're pumped. They are promoters for sure, right? Your 61 to 80, and 80's kind of, could go either way, but your 61 to 80 band are kind of your neutrals. They're not detracting. They are not necessarily, because they're in that centimeter bucket, a retention risk, but they're not out there, preaching how great the agency is. And then we've got our, unfortunately, our unhappies would be your 60 and below. So that's kind of the way, the buckets we talk about, Mike, in terms of, so a good, or a, where you want an aspirational centimeter score would be 81 to 100, right?
Got it. And we teach in a deep way, if you will, client segmentation. It's called something else in other circles. I can't think of the term right now, but ultimately, at the end of the day, we've got, envision AAA, AA, and single A, right? So the 81 to 100 would be AAA. 61 to 80 would be AA, and then 60 or below would be single A. And so this automatically creates that platform to an extent, just by gauging how happy they are with the agency.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you could even, to pull that thread, Mike, you could even overlay that with account value, right? So what's their customer experience score via centimeter? What's their, premium number of policies, et cetera, to really build that profile to match what, they've implemented from your coaching or whatever nomenclature they use in the agency. But I like your A's personally.
Right, exactly. But yeah, everybody's an A, right? Unless we had a fourth one, which was a C, but that's somebody that they don't want to be a C, because for whatever reason, we're going to move them on. So what does it look like in an agency that you might work with? As an example, somebody's in the 61 to 80 range. Do you help agencies not only identify, I know you help them identify that, but do you work with them in helping them move those people up into the 81 to 100 range?
So we definitely might go with, here's where we think this fell off. So there's something in there called customer journey, where, say, Mike, you're my account and everything was sailing smooth. You were in that happy band. Well, then there was a major loss, right? Because loss history is factored. And we see that centimeter took a major dive. Well, that's something then, we're going to want to head that off. We're going to want to really, love on that client and make sure that their experience, in spite of that negative thing that happened, is still on track with our agency and, coordination with the carrier if need be.
Right.
So, Mike, I think that ties into kind of a flow, right? And you had mentioned this offline to me before of, hey, so where did the platform, or where did Aureus start? Where is it today, and where's it going? So I think centimeter is where it started, right? That was kind of the whole crux of what we were getting at. And then where we are now, Mike, and this actually, by the way, for the listeners, this was not premeditated. Mike just teed this up organically. So to me, Mike, there are so many things that can be extracted and can be done in the platform. It's very rich, but I kind of distill it to three components, measurements, right? So centimeter is definitely one, and that's historically where we came from.
Mhm.
The other piece of that, Mike, that's right there for the taking is your recommendations. So that is after DONNA has scanned both personal and commercial accounts, all of your P&C business. Here is what we would expect a customer of this profile to have in terms of coverages, endorsements, line of business, et cetera. And then here's what's missing from this account.
It
So
identifies
that would
gaps
be,
in coverage.
yes, sir.
Aha.
So to identify gaps in coverage, and let's call it Mike gaps in lines of business, right? So generally a client of Mike's persona would have these things, but Mike with your agency only has these things.
Right.
So that would be our recommendations. And then Mike, this ties to the future, although it's live in the platform, where I think we're going in implementation and where I think we're going as an industry is what I call moving from a reactive to proactive service model. That's best case scenario now. I think the wave of the future is this term I'm kind of trying to make happen, Mike, which is a predictive service model. So the third component of DONNA is what we refer to as we've given you the recommendations, right? But these predictive analysis. So it will give you future facing, so centimeters today. Recommendations are real time. Hey, act on this. Mike needs this endorsement. Mike needs this policy. Then there are these future facing probabilities. So, what is the likelihood that Mike buys something else? So, we call that round out probability. What is the likelihood at the policy level that Mike renews this policy? And then what is the likelihood at the account level that Mike just leaves and returns out, right? So we call that retained probability. So using that output to triage and streamline your existing agency workflows, that is the crux of my job, right? You guys on board, we get your executive team together, they get trained on the platform, and then Mike pushing that out to your actual account owners so that their time is actually streamlined and we're spending our human capital as wisely as possible. So that to me is kind of the future flow and the magic, right, of putting it all together.
And a large majority of what you just described is in action in independent insurance agencies in America today, correct?
Yes, sir.
It just hasn't fully evolved, and it will continue to evolve and ultimately make proactivity the baseline, not reactivity, which I love that. Proactivity, not reactivity, is everything in everything we do, period. Vision is the art of seeing things that other people can't see. You're envisioning the future of the tech operations within the agency to support the people aspect, right?
Yes, sir. And that's where, Mike, so many people, AI is just kind of a trendy buzz term, right? And not just insurance, but Chat GPT took over everyone's collective conscience for a while. So I think there are some resistance to that. I think that's kind of melting rapidly each day and each week. But a lot of this whole, oh well, is AI trying to displace jobs or take over? Absolutely not. But I do think the warning that our colleagues should heed, Mike, is that the ones that don't adapt the tech solutions and the AI and the machine learning platforms and overlay that with their people element, they're the ones that are going to get left in the dust, right? They're the ones that are going to be acquired rather than do the acquiring. So to me, that's the fork in the road, if you will.
100% agree. And if they are on the being acquired block, their value will not be as high, because we've got lots of multiple, relationships within the industry on the M&A side. And, multiples of those people have told me, when I say, what's one of the biggest driving factors of the value of an agency? And the word that you just said, predictability, carries huge value. So it's back to an investment in the future value of the agency, right?
And you did a great job with that, Mike. It's valuable whether you're looking to go on offense or whether you are at the end, of the road and you can you're planning your exit strategy. Why not make your revenue as predictable as possible, right? I mean, because it's all theoretical until, the premiums come in and the checks are cash. So that is a great point.
Yeah. Thank you. So let's get back to the trenches and helping agents on the day-to-day. So there's a centimeter score out there and you're identifying, let me pull some more stuff out of you as far as the inner workings. That's where you've been. You had a North Star at the beginning of Aureus Analytics and DONNA. And that North Star was the centimeter score. You've built on that. Today, you're helping agents. When I'm sitting at a desk in the agency and they're operating with DONNA on their within their tech stack, what's happening? Is it a program on their desktop? Is it integrating with their agency management system? Do you integrate with other agency management systems? And the question that I wrote down for you a couple minutes ago, what kind of data is contributing to the centimeter score?
So I'll take those, Mike, one at a time, right? So I'll start with agency workflows. I can't give you a one size fits all answer there, Mike, just because it's so dependent on capacity, roles within the agency, and what the imperative is, right? One of the first questions I asked a new DONNA customer to do, or ask them to rank for me, Mike, retention, streamlining your renewal process, selling more to happy clients now, like 1, 2, 3, rank those for the next quarter, right? And that's where we're going to start. So that can shift, but I will give you a kind of 3 variations of this. So we have some successful agencies that have lean staff, right? Those agencies, they're coming to the DONNA UI. Everyone, we don't charge by the seat, so everyone gets a login, right? And what you see in DONNA is segmented based on your role in the agency and your various permissions, because that's all customizable. And the idea there, Mike, is that your account manager shouldn't be seeing the accounts that they don't have the context on, because DONNA is going to be the roadmap, right? But ultimately, your staff is still driving the car. If you have your GPS up and it says, "Hey, Mike, turn left," and you see this one-way street, you're probably not going to listen to the GPS. But it's showing you where to go, right? And then we need that insurance context. For instance, if Thomas pops as a retention risk, my account manager reviews that and says, that is my brother-in-law, and there is no way he would leave even if he had this loss and his centimeter dip, right?
Really?
So this is why, well, depends on your relationship with your brother-in-law, but all of that to say, Mike, that is where it gets to, the context always matters, right? So the final say and the DONNA output will need to be filtered through someone that manages the account. So that's why we're very cognizant of, seeing what and controlling what you can control in the agency. So that's where we kind of segment that, and they all come to DONNA. It's it's Chrome based, right? It's web based. So there's that, but I won't get too far in the weeds, Mike. I told you 23 is a big year. So there's an Android and an iOS mobile app, right? So this is to be consumed wherever possible. Then there are email and in-app notifications on certain happenings, right? So centimeter drops, highest value round out opportunities, biggest retention risk, etc. So we want to meet our customer and their end users where they are. So we try and be as omni-platform as possible. But I told you I was going to give you 3 personas. So one are these folks who have, everybody gets a login. We train them on DONNA and they use that in their day-to-day workflow. So that's where if a customer calls in, Mike, you're an account manager, you're looking in DONNA to see, hey, are there recommendations for coverages or new lines of business? How happy are they to get the tenor of what needs to happen on this conversation? So that's persona 1. Persona 2 is going to be your agencies, Mike, that kind of have your principal and the exec team are the quarterbacks, right? They're distributing the DONNA output to the account owners that need to schedule that review meeting or prevent that potential customer from leaving or who's shopping around, review it. So that's where not everyone has to come to DONNA, but then they can put that in systems in which the account managers already use. So we have some agencies, Mike, that are using that methodology and then setting the follow-up task in their AMS. And then we have some users that are doing that through their CRM, right? So obviously I've got to bring up Agency Zoom because we're integrated with them and my background there. They have a component, Mike, called the Service Center that brings not just your sales team into the CRM, but your actual account owners. So those centimeter alerts, et cetera, can be pushed to that for like a retention pipeline, et cetera. And then your third and final persona is your DONNA users, Mike, who are, and this is tying back to future forward, where we're going in 24 and beyond, is pushing those out to other platforms. I mentioned Agency Zoom, right? But potentially other CRMs, helping them build that, pushing that out. We have an integration with Tarmica, so you can take an opportunity on the commercial side right from DONNA and lead that into a quote in supported lines in Tarmica. And then additionally, not just Agency Zoom, like I said, but certain CRMs where your team, you would explain to them what DONNA is, right, and how it's helping the process. But ultimately, they know in whatever system, whether it's HubSpot, Agency Zoom, et cetera, this is a ticket, and here's the potential problem, whether it's a retention alert, whether it's an upsell opportunity, and I've got to work it. So those are kind of your three methodologies, right? So heavy duty being everyone comes to DONNA and works in our UI. Medium duty being there's a executive layer that distribute this out for based on what the agency imperatives are. And then three is as light of touch as possible. And there's even one thing I didn't mention, Mike, was something we also launched this year being DONNA services. So even us, like if you're a principal, you and I coordinate and say, hey, these are the imperatives for the agency. Here's what I want to go to these people, and then managing that on our back end with our data team so that it's just served up to your team. We revisit that as we go. So those are kind of that was a long-winded answer, Mike, but since that is the crux of my job, can only make that one so short.
I totally get that. So I'm sitting here in the agency chair, envisioning, I'm learning about DONNA. I want to know more. And then I just listened to what you just said. I'm going to suggest the best thing that I can do is email Thomas at aureusanalytics.com. Do you prefer email or?
So for the folks, Mike, that are watching this with video, yeah, absolutely. Drop me a line. Additionally, if they're watching this with their video feed on, this QR code on my background will take you to my LinkedIn, and you can see some of your potential colleagues that are connected with me on there and using the platform. So one of the things that several agents will tell you is if you're considering DONNA, talk to us at Aureus for sure, right? But talk to another agency that's using it, and we can help connect you there. There's certainly, Mike, we could spend, you and I, both known to spin a tale. We could spend hours on this, but I'll tell you that is ultimately, if I could distill this with where we're going, because you did ask me about embedding. We have different capabilities, Mike, based on the agency management system you use. In 24 and beyond, we're looking to make those even richer in terms of two-way write back, pushing activities so that those personas can shift, and there's even less touch, right, needed to get this in the hands of your account owners. But as a quick recap, Mike, of 23, so I mentioned that we launched the app, we launched the notifications platform, we launched DONNA services, but additionally, we've also launched some new partnerships this year with Insurance Soup, MAI, Massachusetts Big I, then our My Backyard, our good friend Avi Knight over at IANC. So all of those have been, there's some preferential pricing for the members of those organizations. And then additionally, we have, and this is what I'm perhaps most excited about, Mike, this is very timely. I'm sure it'll be a little delay from the time we're having this conversation to when your listeners hear this. But as of this week, we're live with EasyLinks as a compatible management system. We launched Epic, applied Epic about 60 days ago. That was a big win for us. We've actually been added to the approved vendor solutions program with Applied, which that hasn't happened in a number of years. So we're excited about that. And that's where things are headed, is even more richness in that integration, two-way, and more that we can do for the agent in both their CRMs and AMS.
Exciting times.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So just to make sure everybody's got this, if you're listening to this and driving, please don't do anything. Just keep listening. But if you can write this down,
Eyes
it's
on the road.
Thomas, THOMAS at Aureus, AUREUS, ANALYTICS, Thomas at AureusAnalytics.com. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, just hover over the QR code on the screen right below Thomas, and that'll take you to the LinkedIn profile. Or you can just go to LinkedIn and search for Thomas Mann, MANN, and connect with Thomas, and you can learn more about everybody that already trusts Aureus within their agency business. Thomas, you're right. We could go on for a long, long time about the phenomenal things that are going on, but what excites me more is the future and the things that are going to happen. Those that choose. I was just studying this morning. When you win or you learn a lesson, AKA lose, it was all because of a choice. And it's all about the choices that we make in business and the future of our business. So I heard you say Android app. I'm sitting there in a meeting, in a huge meeting, and there's multiple people in the room, maybe a networking function, maybe a board meeting out there in the communities. And I've got the Aureus Android app in my hand. I'm sitting right next to Thomas Mann, who I know is a customer. And I wanted to check real quick his centimeter score. And I find out sitting there that his centimeter score is 62. I will have that ability right at my fingertips, right?
Yes, sir.
Wow. So in addition to that, you mentioned Agency Zoom as an example. The centimeter score dips down to 59. Can you create a trigger from DONNA to Agency Zoom to start an output of messaging automatically via the automation without a human person intervening?
Two answers, Mike. So without a human person intervening, yes, through our DONNA services backend network, right? And then on the front end, you can create an opportunity out of any of the recommendations I mentioned in DONNA, whether that's coverage, LOB, or a retention risk into Agency Zoom with a click of a button. It's going to pre-fill the info and make the card.
Yeah. So again, if you're curious about UI, DONNA services, etc., just connect with Thomas. There's no obligation. Just learn more. And, you know, the day we stop learning is the day we stop earning. So we want to continue to earn and learn and grow. So I am super, super excited about the future. I'm super excited about the future into 24 and beyond of what DONNA is doing and Aureus Analytics, the team, is creating on behalf of independent insurance everywhere. Thank you for all that you're doing.
Well, and right back at you, my friend. Mike, I know I've known you for a number of years now, and we are definitely in that battle together of how can we move this industry forward. I know it's an industry that is near and dear to your heart and mine personally. So it's awesome to be in the opportunities we're in.
It's my passion. Every day that I get out of bed, my passion is to help the agents grow forward because, you know, in working with agents, this may come as a shock to you. We still encounter agencies, say through the acquisition process, that still have paper files. So.
Good friend of mine and DONNA customer, Mike, was recently through the acquisition process telling me quite a tale of digitization. So yes, sir, there's definitely still a need, Mike, for the next, I don't want to even say tech leap forward, tech baby step forward, right?
That's right. That's right. But being in the trenches with it operating is the key. And, you know, back to the centimeter score, what kind of data contributes to the centimeter score? Let me just go ahead and wrap with this. All of the information that you have operating within your agency contributes to the centimeter score. I mean, whether it be the emails going around within your agency, the text messages going in and out within your agency, the voicemails, and if you're recording your calls, and all of the operations within your agency management system. I mean, that's just a short list. Is it correct that all of that goes right up into DONNA and you guys synthesize it to create the centimeter score?
So absolutely, Mike. It's there are some variations to that. It's not a blanket answer, depending on, like you said, if you record your calls. But you know, if you've got it there for DONNA to read, then all of that's factored. Right, is the short answer.
And
additionally,
Why wouldn't
Why wouldn't
somebody
you?
take the
Yeah.
information that they're investing in and put it up into the system to give them the greatest chance to win?
In addition, Mike, to all of that you just mentioned, I'll give them a little more. So it's actually over 50 unique points that influence the centimeter in those predictive models that I mentioned, right? But all of the touch point data, does Mike usually get 6 touches from his agency versus how many has he had this year? There's additionally loss history, carrier stability. Has Mike requested a remarket every term? Right. So this is, and then that all goes back up, Mike, to the personas I mentioned, and that 5 billion in premium. The machine learning model says, okay, so a profile of a customer like Mike is going to do this 8 out of 10 times, and it will retrain that predictive model until it gets a similar outcome. So that's kind of, we crunch it all for you. We try and give you the best predictor of what that persona is going to do in the future and give you a real-time measure of where they're sitting today.
Using technology to predict your next wins and prevent your next losses.
Bingo.
I think we should wrap with that. What do you think?
I'm good with that, Mike. That's a good spot to clip it, my friend.
Fantastic. Exactly. And that's what we want. You and I are on a passionate mission to help agents to their next wins and get more wins and prevent and eliminate the losses where possible. And you guys are doing it through the tech platform that you guys have created. And I know you're just getting started. So you alluded just a few of the things that are happening, great things that are happening. And that's what I continue to hear about. That's what drives me to get people like Thomas Mann on the podcast so that agents everywhere can learn about what's going on, because awareness is huge. We just want to make you aware. What your choice is completely yours. So if you want to learn more again about Aureus Analytics, please connect with Thomas Mann. He's on LinkedIn. That's Thomas Mann, Mann, Thomas Mann, Mann. I spell that out because I need that sometimes. And then Thomas at Aureus Analytics, Thomas at AureusAnalytics.com. Thomas at Aureus Analytics. You can reach out to him there. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, just hover over the QR code below his name and you can connect there. So Thomas Mann, thank you. Thank you, my friend.
Mike, always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No, you're welcome. And I can't wait to learn more. I can't wait to watch your incredible platform evolve, help more agents. And we'll have to check back very soon to find out the latest in your evolution.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
All right, everybody. Hey, if this is your first time on the podcast, welcome. My name is Mike Stromsoe. I'm widely recognized as a leading author, speaker, and coach for the independent insurance agency industry. You can learn more about myself, my team, and what we do to help agents at unstoppableprofitproducer.com. If you're if you're interested in attending one of our virtual events to grow your business, create wealth, and have more freedom, and learn all of the money-making strategies that we've developed over 35 years as a proud independent insurance agent, 100% of the time, no knock, Thomas, please visit us at uppfaststart.com, uppfaststart.com. Everything that we do is designed to share with you, again, all of our best money-making strategies to help you grow your agency, create wealth, so you too can have more freedom to live life on your own terms. And again, if this is your first time, please go to unstoppableprofitpodcast.com. Go up to the top, make sure you click subscribe so you don't miss one valuable episode. And if you got great value out of today's podcast, again, please share unstoppableprofitpodcast.com with everybody that you care about, another agent, another business entrepreneur. Please share with them so they can continue to learn, so we can all continue to predictively grow and win more. And of course, our podcast is out there on all the channels: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, our YouTube channel, Amazon, and more. So we want to be out there for you, to help you, to support you, to grow your agency business. So again, thank you for joining us today. Thomas Mann, thank you, sir.
Mike, a pleasure. Thank you, my friend.
My pleasure. Give our best to your team. A very happy and joyous holiday season to you and everybody else, and a happy new year as well.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, everybody. Get out there, make a difference, be unstoppable, leave no regrets, and remember, it's the choices that we make that lead to our next wins or our next lessons. Make the right choice. Go big or go home. We'll see you on the next episode.
Can't get enough of the Unstoppable Profit podcast? Come join our next live 3-day boot camp in warm, beautiful San Diego. Invest in your ticket today at beunstoppablebootcamp.com. That's beunstoppablebootcamp.com.